Hello everyone, it's Charlton. So there's a story about an alligator attack in South Carolina. It immediately caught my attention big time. As I read through it, I was just shocked. And the woman was killed. She's only 45 years old. It's an absolute shame, you know. And she was walking her dog. It's in South Carolina on Hilton Head Island in Sea Pines, which is where my family, we vacationed. My brothers vacation there all the time, especially one brother. He was just there like 3 weeks ago. You know, he's back in the same spot we were fishing in previous videos that I made on my old channel. I made videos with alligators. You know, not this alligator, and believe me, that thought crossed my mind when I was reading the story, but it's very, very close to where we were fishing, one of the main places by the Lawton Stables, which is a horse stable down there where tourists can horseback ride, and there's a petting zoo and stuff like that. It's like a mile or so, maybe a little bit more, right down the road on Wood Duck Road. It's a fairly residential, non-rental type of neighborhood in Sea Pines. Sea Pines, you know, I think all the resorts down there, they're very, very strict about, like, you're not allowed to paint your house a certain color and stuff like that. It's very, very, they've kept it so that, you know, it's just a really tight-knit community. And even though it welcomes tourism, it resists being turned into like a Fort Lauderdale or something like that. Not that I have anything against Fort Lauderdale or whatever, but you know what I mean. So she was walking her dog, and she actually was just protecting her dog. That's the alligator, went after the dog. And her name is Cassandra Cline. This happened at 9:30 a.m. Monday morning this morning. The police got a call of witness, actually saw it happen, saw her get grabbed by the alligator and pulled into the water and then just pulled under, and it just drowned her, you know. And, I mean, it literally was going after the dog first, and the dog's actually okay. It's completely unharmed. You know, one of the neighbors, Steve Darmody, who's 60 years old, lives nearby on I think it's Governor's Lane, which is the next street over. He was working in his house that morning, this morning, and somebody knocked on his front door. He answered it, and they were holding a wet dog, and it was her dog. And he took it for a while until her family, could take the dog. It seemed unharmed. He then walked down to where the incident happened. He said he saw her body pulled out of the water. She looked unharmed, and I think it was just pulled under and drowned, you know. Supposedly, she's just 45 years old, a very athletic person and a real happy, positive person. She must have been tough, man. I mean, she protected her dog from the alligator, and but she was killed. The alligator's already been pulled out of the lagoon and euthanized. It was an 8-foot alligator, but it literally went for the dog first, and she went to protect it. There's, I think, surveillance footage of this, so they were able to confirm, these accounts, as well as I believe there might have been witness video of this, but I'm not absolutely sure of that. I kind of caught that secondhand from my wife. Me and her were talking about it on the phone because, we vacation there all the time. My brother goes there every year, 2-3 times a year. He knows that place like the back of his hand. And he fishes all those lagoons. I mean, he's tested all those spots. This is sort of beside the point, but just to give you some background, he's literally just spent days on his bike going from lagoon to lagoon to lagoon, testing out which are the best fishing spots. That's why we always fish at that Lawton Stable, those 2 little lagoons there, because he knows that's 2 of the best places. We were night fishing there. I made a video of a huge, about an 8-foot alligator, maybe a little bit smaller, getting pretty close, that was sunning itself in a different lagoon where my other brother was staying when all 3 families were down there, and my parents too, for one trip. And I got within feet, and it was just down a little bit into the bank, and I was a little bit raised up, but I was literally within feet of it, showing it and stuff like that, and it was sunning and relaxing. I'm never doing that again, definitely. This is the second death by, I think in the last year or so. I know there was another time, I think that was in Florida, but this is the second death in South Carolina's history since they've been recording deaths by alligator attack. In 1976, the last one, the first one actually, was in 2016. They're everywhere now. They really are. They're all over the place. I said this in my previous videos that were on my old channel. You know, they're literally, if you want to fish, my brother can't stand. They harass you, and they come up and wait for you to catch a fish, and then they come and eat it. You know, and you'll have a beautiful, nice, huge drumfish on, or I forget the different fish that we catch down there. But, you know, and they'll take your fish and eat it as soon as they see the splashing. My brother was telling me a story of where he was on 2 different lagoons, and he went to the other lagoon on the other side where there was a pipe, and stuck his pole in the water and just, you know, swished it around and splashed it to make it sound like there's a fish there. So that the alligator would come through the pipe and come to the other lagoon so he could go fish back over at the other lagoon. And he did that. But as soon as the alligator realized that he was back over there, he went right back through the pipe, came right over to him, and just waited for him to catch a fish and harass him. I'm just giving you some you know, kind of, so they're everywhere now, and they were an endangered species not that long ago. I don't know how long it was, you know, 15, 20 years ago, they were literally on the endangered species list, and now they're in great numbers. So that's the story there. They gave history of other attacks that have happened, of, you know, but I don't think I need to go into it. Cassandra Cline, 45 years old. What a shame. And it's just, you know, it's just terrible. That's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.